routing is performed by a special device known as router. So what is this router? Router is a hardware device. So that is a hardware electronic device which is used to process of selecting path along which the data can be transferred from source to the destination. So whenever the data transmission is there, that means from source to destination, if the source want to transmit any data, then there is no direct link between. Sometimes there may be a direct link between the source and destination. So sometimes in that subnet we have n number of devices are there, and the source device is located in one place and the destination device is located in one place. So in between those source and destination we have n number of intermediate nodes are there. So the router's duty is to select a best path between the source and the destination. So selecting the best path between the source and destination, that is the duty of the router. So the process is called as routing. Means the routing is done by the device called as router. So where it is located? So the router is located at the network layer in the voice reference model, and it is located at the internet layer in TCP/IP protocol. So the routers, the routing is the main functionality of the network layer. So that's why the routers are located in network layer of the voice reference model, and if you consider the TCP/IP reference model, then at internet layer it is located. So what is the main purpose of this routing? So a routing is a networking device which forwards the packets based on the information available in the packet header and forwarding table. So what is its duty? Its duty is to find the best path. So how it will find the best path mean? By considering the packet header. So the header consisting of the address of the source and the address of the destination. So based on the address of the source and destination, it will find the best path. So because if the address is known, then it will know how it will move from one node to the another node. So what are the intermediate nodes which are existing between the source and destination? So based on the address only, it will find the best path. Now coming to the routing algorithms. So routing algorithms are used for routing the packets. So these are all the step-by-step procedures. Means routing is a technique. So why routing is required? So routing means it will find the best path for transmitting the packets from source to destination. So for doing this one, for doing the routing, we will use a step-by-step procedures. Those are called routing algorithms. So various routing algorithms are there for routing purpose. So the routing algorithms is nothing but a software responsible for deciding the optimal path through which packet can be transmitted. So if you consider the router, so routing is a process. So that routing is done by the electronic device, the hardware device called router. So router is a hardware part. Then the routing algorithm is a related to software one. So why it is responsible? I mean, what is the purpose of routing algorithms? It is responsible for deciding the optimal path. So optimal path means best path. So the best path which is existed between the source and destination. So that optimal selecting optimal path is done by the software. That software is nothing but the routing algorithm. That means routing is a technique which is done by the hardware device called router. And how it will be done mean by using the routing algorithms. It is responsible for selecting the optimal path through which the data can be transmitted from source to the destination. So we have different type of routing algorithms are there. So what are the different type of routing algorithms? So actually we have three different type of routing algorithms are there. One is static routing, second one is dynamic routing, and the third one is default routing. So default means by default we will select, means anonymously we will select a path and choosing that best path and passing the data through from one router to the another router. That is a default routing technique. So mainly we will concentrate on two different type of routing algorithms, that is called as static routing and dynamic routing. So the other names for static and dynamic routing are adaptive routing algorithm and non-adaptive routing algorithm. These are the two different routing algorithms which are existed for routing purpose. So we'll see what is this adaptive routing algorithm. So adaptive routing algorithm is also known as dynamic routing algorithm. So adaptive routing algorithm is also known as dynamic. So what is dynamic? Dynamic means variable. It is not a constant one. If you consider a constant path, that is called a static one. But here it is a dynamic routing. So the other name for this dynamic routing is adaptive routing algorithm. This adaptive routing algorithm is a technique in which a router adds a new route in the routing table for each packet in response to the changes in the condition or topology of the network. That means based on the condition or based on the topology of the network. So we have different type of topologies are there. If you consider a local area network, or if you consider a metropolitan area network, or if you consider a wide area network. So any network will be based on a structure. That structure is nothing but topology. So based on the condition or based on the topology, the router adds a new route in the routing table, because each and every router maintains a routing table. So that routing table contains the in data and the out data. That means from which router the data is coming and to which router the data is passed. So every router maintains the routing table. So here the adaptive routing, in adaptive routing it is a dynamic one. So dynamic means it automatically changes. So when it will be changes based on the condition, or based on the condition means condition of the network. Based on the condition of the network or based on the topology of the network, sometimes the router will update the data in the routing table. Routing table. Dynamic protocols are used to discover the new routes to reach the destination. So this is the important point. So what is that? Dynamic protocols. So this adaptive routing protocols which are used to discover the new routes to reach the destination. So sometimes if we are selecting a best path, means the router will choose one path as a best path. So after that, due to the topology or due to the condition, some additional routers are added, or some other routes are considered as the best path. So that will be found, that will be discovered by this adaptive routing algorithm. That's why this is not a constant path. Constant route is found by the algorithm. Here, based on the conditions, the based on the packets, means each packet is transferred. So based on the topology, the routing table is updated at a time, means updated every time. In dynamic routing, RIP and OSPF. So these two are the protocols used to discover the new routes. So in the first point, we already told dynamic protocols are used to discover the new routes to reach the destination. So how it will discover the new routes? How it will find the new paths mean by using two different protocols. One is RIP and the other one is OSPF. So what is this RIP? RIP means it is a routing information protocol. So based on the routing information, one protocol was discovered, and that routing information protocol is the best example for distance vector routing algorithm. Distance vector routing algorithm. So this RIP is the best example for distance vector routing algorithm. So in that distance vector algorithm, we need to maintain the routing information, so which is used to discover the new routes to reach the destination. So new routes means those new routes are best routes compared with the existing routes. And another one is called as OSPF. So what is this OSPF? Open shortest path first. Open shortest path first. So distance vector routing will maintain the routing information to discover the new routes. And the other routing protocol that is called as OSPF. That OSPF is open shortest path first. So that OSPF is the best example for link state algorithm. Link state routing algorithm. So link state routing algorithm is one of the protocol which is used to find the new routes to reach the destination. So here we will consider the open shortest path first. It means what is the shortest path? So we have n number of routes are there. So from that n number of routes we need to choose the best path. So how we will choose the best path? Which one is the shortest one? Mean shorter, if the route is shorter, then the source means the source packet will be reached to the destination early, mean the time is reduced. So if the time reduces, automatically the efficiency is also increased, throughput is increased. To increase the efficiency or to increase the throughput, we will use this type of protocols. So these are the two different protocols used in the adaptive routing algorithms. If any route goes down, then the automatic adjustment will be made to reach the destination. So what is this one? So we have some disadvantages are there with routing algorithms, because once the route is fine, so in that route only all the packets will be transmitted. For example, any router is crash, means crash occurs at any route. Then what will happen? Whatever the packets transmitted up to that router, failure due to that failured router, all the transactions will be terminated. So to avoid that, this adaptive routing algorithm is used for automatic adjustment to reach the destination. So automatic adjustment means once the router is failed, then immediately the router will discover the new route, means immediately it will discover what is the next new node which is near to that particular router. So already so if any route goes down, then the automatic adjustment will be made to reach the destination. So route goes down means any router will crash, means any problem with the network. Then by using this adaptive routing, immediately the automatic adjustment will be done, which is used to reach the destination. So that is possible by using this adaptive routing algorithms. Now coming to non-adaptive routing algorithms. So the other name for non-adaptive routing algorithm is static routing algorithm. Static routing algorithm is also known as non-adaptive routing algorithm. It is a technique in which the administrator manually adds the routes in a routing table. So in dynamic routing, the routers will decide to choose the best path. Here, by in non-adaptive routing algorithm, the main role is taken by the administrator. So one administrator is there, and the administrator's duty is to manually adds the routes in a routing table. In dynamic routing, each and every router will maintain the routing table. But here what will happen? When administrator is there, that administrator will manually adds the routes. A router can send the packet for the destination along the route defined by the administrator. So here the administrator will decide in which path the data is transmitted. Means what is the path between the source and destination. Once he decided a shortest path, so he finalized it, and he means the administrator device will decide the best path and finalize it. So after finalized by the administrator, simply the source packet will be transmitted in that path only to reach the destination. So here the main role is taken by the administrator device, means one single device will control all the routers. In this technique, routing decisions are not based on the condition or topology of the network. So if you compare with the adaptive routing algorithm, there The adaptiveness is there. That means automatic adjustments are there. If any rotor comes down, then automatically the adjustment is there. That means the based on the conditions or based on the topology of the network, if any problem will occurs, according to that the changes will be done in the routing table. But here what will happen, based on the conditions or based on the topology, there is no decisions will be taken by the administrator. Once he finalize a best path, that is the final one, that is the final path, that is the best path to travel from source to the destination. So that will be decided by the administrator only. So the dynamic means it's a variable one. Static means it's a constant one. Mean before starting transmission of the packets only, the administrator will decide what is the best path between the source and destination. Even though the based on the conditions are based on the topologies, there is no decisions will be taken by the routers. So routing decisions will not be based on the conditions or based on the topologies. So routing protocols are there. We already discussed in adaptive routing algorithms. We are using two different type of protocols. What are the two different type of routing protocols? One is distance vector routing algorithm, and the other one is link state routing algorithm. So distance vector routing algorithm. So based on the distance between one router to the another router. So we need to maintain the routing information each and every routers. So based on that routing information, various steps will be taken to transmit the packet from source to destination. So here each and every router will maintain the routing algorithm, means maintain the distance from one router to the another router. So it will maintain. So based on that distance, it will find the best path. So that will be explained in the distance vector routing algorithm. It is an adaptive routing algorithm, adaptive or dynamic routing algorithm. And coming to the link state routing algorithm. So what is this link state routing algorithm? So based on the states, we will link from one router to the another router. So here how it will work, it will be worked based on the shortest path. So shortest path between the routers. So we have n number of routers are there. Each and every router will maintain the routing table. So in that routing table, they will mention the distance. So what is the distance from source? What is the distance to the destination? So each and everything is maintained in the routing table. So while considering the routing table, they will identify, mean that link state routing algorithm will identify the shortest distance, and by using that shortest distance, it will connect one router to the another router. So the connection is established. After that, the data packet is transmitted through that route. So that will be done in the link state routing algorithm. So this distance vector routing algorithm and link state routing algorithm, both are unicast routing algorithms. So a single direction the data is transmitted. So these are the best protocols used in the adaptive routing algorithm to find or to discover the new paths, new route from one device to the another device. And we have routing algorithms are also there. So routing algorithms means those are the algorithms which are used to find the route from source to destination. So here we considering two different type of algorithms. One is flooding, another one is shortest path algorithm. So flooding is one of the routing algorithm, and shortest path algorithm is another one. So in that shortest path algorithm, again we have three different type of algorithms are there. One is Dijkstra's, Bellman-Ford, and Floyd-Warshall algorithm. So among those three, we will discuss, or we will mainly concentrate on one algorithm, that is called as Dijkstra's algorithm. So in the next class, we discuss about these three algorithms, means these routing protocols and routing algorithms.